फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।
Hello everyone, you're watching Cricket Next. I'm Suramya Kaushik. Well, mark your dates for the October 15th India versus Pakistan match is going to be there in ODI World Cup 2023 at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. It's going to be a big clash, high voltage match out there on October 15th between India and Pakistan. The draft schedule is out. Well, what's in store for us in this ODI World Cup? We'll talk about it one by one. But before that, let me introduce you all with our guests of the day. And for that, I have with me Chaitanya Nanda, Tao Surizvi, and Jamie Alter. Hi, gentlemen. Great to have you here in this live session. And as I just started with, India versus Pakistan, when we hear, the match becomes to some other level, it goes to some other level. Now, Chaitanya, to begin with, आपने matches खेले हैं, आपको पता है किस तरह की rivalries होती है, लेकिन इंडिया पाकिस्तान से बड़ी कोई rivalry नहीं होती है, especially जब पाकिस्तान 10 साल के बाद इंडिया आएगा. How do you see this match? And क्या लगता है क्या होने वाला है, कैसा माहौल होगा उस टाइम पे?
Actually, it's always a very big, high tension match when India and Pakistan is playing. So basically, a lot of players get into the pressure. The youngsters get into the pressure when they are playing against each other because this is a high tension, high intensity match. So मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं as a player, it's very important to play a match. And what Indians are doing well whenever we are playing the Pakistan till last time, that we are only playing the game. We are not playing Pakistan. But when Pakistan plays India, they play as like, it's going to be very India-Pakistan kind of a thing. Political kind of stuff comes in and everything. They start thinking about it. So I think this is very interesting match. It will be a very big match. It's going to happen in Ahmedabad, one of the biggest grounds in the world. A lot of backing to Indian players. So I think it's going to be really a great match. And when Pakistan is coming to India after 10 years, people will also willing to, see Pakistani players. They are also very flamboyant players. They also have that something, interesting to them. They always attract the crowd, the players of Pakistan. They have very flamboyant kind of players, very natural players. And when we talk about Indian players, they are already the stars. They are like, God in India. Cricket is religion in India.
Yeah,
So it's
true.
gonna be big.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Jamie, when we talk about India-Pakistan match, it's not just a match, it's about the two countries as well, and automatically the countries get involved, especially because of the relations the two countries share, India and Pakistan. I still remember the last match that these two countries played in the T20 World Cup, what Virat Kohli did, and what happened after that match. Now, everybody's expecting such kind of a show again in ODI World Cup. I just want to know, how different will it be for the both teams, because they'll be playing together and they'll be playing against each other in India after 10 years. That's also something very huge. What do you think? What Indian players should do? What Pakistan players should do for such kind of a match?
First of all, the second this first draft was announced, I said, "Chalo, finally we're getting it." Because like we were talking about yesterday or day before on this channel, normally World Cup schedule comes out 15 to 18 months before, and I was giving that example of how I was able to book my tickets back in '98 for the '99 World Cup a full year before. So let's just be happy that something's happened because we're only 4 months away. I mean, coming to the schedule, we've got what, 10, 11 India matches. I have no doubt that everyone's eyes were locked on India, Pakistan. We know the reports, we'd heard things, we're all journalists. We knew it's going to happen most likely. But that match, I mean, what, 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh capacity stadium. This is the match. Forget the qualifier on November 11th. It's India, Pakistan, which fans on both sides, players on both sides, say what you want to do. They're already thinking about that. Now, coming to your question, what do they need to do? Nothing different, just approach it. India, barring, I think, 2 matches, has been dominating Pakistan at ICC events for many years now. Just pick the right team. What the team will be, we don't know because certain players are out now. Let's hope Jasprit Bumrah gets fit. Let's hope Shreyas Iyer comes back. So all these things we can talk about with more detail closer to the date. Right now, there's a long way to go. I hope the selectors. I don't know who the selectors are. We're wondering, पिछले six months who the selectors are. We have no idea. Let's hope that whoever they are, they're picking the best players. We know that Rishabh Pant is not going to be there. A lot of doubts over a couple players, but forget what they need to do. They just need to rock up on that day, October 15th, play the best cricket. I mean, can you imagine the environment we're going to see, right? Ahmedabad Stadium, it's going to be 100% pro India, backing the Indian team. And that is going to be the highlight. Forget India getting to the semifinals. That we'll see. That is going to be the biggest match. And I thought, why?
Absolutely.
Yes, और ताउस अभी ये मैच इसलिए और इम्पोर्टेंट होता है बिकॉज आप तब से हम लोग सब सुन रहे हैं कि एशिया कप के बारे में क्या बातचीत चल रही है एंड देन कैसे डिसीजंस आए हैं दैट हाउ पाकिस्तान डिसाइडेड टू कम टू इंडिया एंड स्पेशली आफ्टर 10 years एंड 10 years इज वेरी वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम आप देखेंगे पाकिस्तान टीम को यहाँ पे एंड देन देयर वर आल्सो डिस्कशंस अबाउट द वेन्यू एंड आफ्टर ऑल they decided, they agreed to play at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. बहुत बड़ा stadium है. But this match is not only a match. This match speaks of the two countries. This match also speaks about the two cricketing boards, India and Pakistan, how they have decided. This also speaks about how BCCI has decided. Although we'll talk about the schedule, the final schedule a little later on in this conversation. But I just want to know, how things have panned out for both the cricketing boards and how Pakistan has agreed to come to India.
See, this was bound to happen, I guess, because when we were talking about the Asia Cup, which was happening, there is a lot of debate whether India should go to Pakistan, and how Najam Sethi has come out with this hybrid kind of concept where they are going to play India matches outside Pakistan and other matches will be played in Pakistan. But then when it comes to BCCI, when it comes to ICC, it's BCCI which dominates, which mostly, I mean, considering the revenue that we generate and considering the power that we hold. So it was most likely that the Pakistan match would have played in India, and this decision is not surprising at all. यहाँ पर और पहले से ही हमने स्पेकुलेशन आना शुरू हो गए थे, रूमर्स आना शुरू हो गए थे कि नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम में, ये हमको कल इस मालूम पड़ा है, मगर ये बातें बहुत टाइम से चलने लगी थी, तो हमको ऑलमोस्ट पता ही था.
And were reluctant to play at Narendra Modi Stadium. They didn't agree at all. The reports were saying this. They were saying that, okay, we can play in Chennai or some other. There are just 5 venues now. And mostly, if I see the venues, they are Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata, all down south. It's just one match, India and Pakistan, and that's happening at Ahmedabad. So eventually, we can say this over BCCI has made PCB agree on this. Okay, no, you have to play at Narendra Modi Stadium only.
Absolutely, no chance of argument for Pakistan right now, because यहाँ पर ICC का tournament, it's not even Asian Cricket Council, जहाँ पर थोड़ा बहुत पाकिस्तान कैन से कि हमारे पास भी पावर है, we have the right. But then when it comes to the World Cup, यार यहाँ पर आपके ऑप्शन ज्यादा नहीं रहते, तो पाकिस्तान had to play on नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम. ICC ने ही पूरा वो किया है, तो ICC का डिसीजन आप ओवररूल नहीं कर सकते. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वो नुकसान में भी रहेंगे, दे विल बी एट लॉस. बट आई वाज लुकिंग एट द स्टैटिस्टिक्स. यहाँ पर तो मैं ODIs का स्टैटिस्टिक्स देख रहा था, जिसमें पाकिस्तान का नंबर ज्यादा है. इंडिया भारत को हराया है 73 मैचेस जीता, और हमने 55 जीता है, जिसमें से हमने होम मैचेस सिर्फ 11 जीते और उन्होंने 14. तो बड़ा ही इंटरेस्टिंग है यहाँ पर. और आई एम एक्साइटेड टू सी बाबर आजम, वन ऑफ द कंपिटिटर्स ऑफ विराट कोहली, कमिंग टू इंडिया, प्लेइंग इन एट नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम. दोनों कैसा परफॉर्म करेंगे आपस में, कैसा एक दूसरे को आउटडू करने की कोशिश करेंगे, वो मजा आएगा. आई एम मोर एक्साइटेड अबाउट दैट. ऑफ कोर्स इंडिया पाकिस्तान के लिए कौन नहीं है, बट देन इंडिविजुअल जो ये रहता है, शाहीन अफरीदी टेकिंग ऑन रोहित शर्मा, व्हाट मैचअप इट विल बी यार. इट इज गोना बी फन.
Absolutely. So then, obviously, when we talk about Indian fans, they're always, behind this debate of Babar Azam versus Virat Kohli, and they're always into this, who's the better batter, and now Babar Azam will be seen playing in India. It's going to be a different vibe in Ahmedabad on that day. But how do you see, these Pakistan players coming here in India, and especially when, Indian fans have this tendency of comparing the two players, the two different sides?
See, it's going to be very interesting when Pakistan, as a player, if I'm, if I think like as a player, I'm coming from Pakistan, wants to play in India in front of a big crowd, and especially when I'm compared to Virat Kohli, I'm here. not to compete as a match, as a compete as an individual with Virat Kohli, and a lot of people are thinking about it. So if I start thinking like that, I will put a lot of pressure on myself, and that is very good for India that Babar Azam start thinking like that. Because when you get into that zone where you want to perform, you get tensed, you get tight as a cricketer. When you say about cricket, cricket is played well when you are loose, when you are free, you have a very simple mind frame. But when you start thinking all these things, then it becomes difficult for a player to perform, and especially when the biggest crowd will be behind Indian side, Indian bowlers, whoever's gonna bowl, the sound, the people, those who are behind Indian, the fans will be behind Indian bowlers. It will give a lot of kick to them, and Indian bowlers, especially Ahmedabad as a cricketer, if they keep a little bit of grass on it, gonna help the fast bowlers always. And Babar, I don't know whether he's gonna open or he's come in between the. He's gonna change the strategy, so it will be gonna be very difficult for Babar to come and compete like that. If he comes as a player, don't think like that. I'm a Babar Azam, I'm gonna do this or do that. If he just come as a player and just play his natural game, that will be good for him. And as you were asking last time, ICC cannot, I just want to go back to the question you were asking to us, Rizvi. Uh, ICC cannot, go against BCCI first of all, and India-Pakistan match. It's only going to happen in Ahmedabad because that's the biggest crowd, and this is an ICC tournament, so they want to make the best money out of this match. They have to get best everything out of this match. So this is the best ground because this is the. You think how much ticket money they're gonna get from this ground? It's gonna be oversold. So and Asian Cricket Council is also headed by our Mr. Jayasha right now, so they
Yeah.
cannot go anywhere here and there. So it was
BCCI is dominating
supposed
in
to
one sense. You can say that. Yeah, BCCI is clearly dominating here because Jamie, हमने कितनी बार इस पर बातचीत करी है in live sessions also. That Pakistan again and again is saying कि we won't come to India, and then they come to and then they have now managed to plan this trip to India for ODI World Cup, and then they'll be playing here. But okay, Vineet has a question here. Vineet is like, okay, can Rohit Sharma captain and Rahul Dravid coach in ODI World Cup? Well, that's a different point as well, Jamie, that we'll be talking upon. Kya hoga Team India ka aage? But I think this actually shows the clear dominance of BCCI in international cricket because you have managed to convince Pakistan to come here. And do you think that this will affect, somewhere the decisions about Asia Cup as well?
Look, I think we can all agree that, there was never any actual serious doubt. A lot of it was made by the media. We know the media very, very well and the fans and all. But look, can you imagine some time ago, I think it was on one of these shows, we were looking at what if South Africa do not make a one-day World Cup? What if Sri Lanka don't make a World Cup? And what if Pakistan don't make a one-day World Cup? 12 months ago, it would have been unthinkable. But because South Africa skipped that series in Australia, virtually they forfeited some points. Sri Lanka have already dipped as a one-day force, winners in 1996, finalists in 2007 and 2011. And then this whole Pakistan issue. So at one point, we're like, hey, is this actually going to happen? That, the World Cup won't have these three teams? But look how it pans out. Everything is sorted. They're all going to be there because when you're anyways playing with such few teams, you can argue why it's even called a World Cup when very few teams play. It was always going to happen. Such is the BCCI's might. They control many, many pieces of this pie. So it was not enough. It was just a matter of when. And like I said, this is why we're getting worried. Yeah, there's only 4 months left for the World Cup. When is the schedule coming out? And we know the reasons. They were all busy doing certain things, and now it's all panned out. The matches is going to happen. Pakistan will come. They'll get visas. It'll all be sorted. I just have one thing, and I think it's and please feel free to share your views. Given that all we've seen, the changing landscape, there's 3 T20 leagues coming up or have already come up in this year, right? Rohit Sharma has said, we should have a best of 3 WTC final, but just looking at that cramped calendar where it's I want to hear from Chaitanya. I would not want to be an international cricketer right now with so many choices, with so many fatigue, right? Now you have question and very valid question. I myself have said, I find bilateral ODIs the most boring format going around. So against the backdrop of Ben Stokes leaving one days, against all this, could we possibly, and this is for all of you and our viewers, please comment, could we perhaps be looking at the last relevant one day World Cup of our era? Because 4 years down the line, we don't know who's going to be around. Will the one day format last? This is why I just hope that more than any other debate and topic, we just get a World Cup which is, fitting for the fans and us who watch this game. Because 2029 for me, frankly, is just too far down the distance. There's too much doubt about financial liabilities. Players are skipping. Trent Bolt is walking away from a national contract. Ben Stokes ने तो game ही छोड़ दिया. He's like, yeah, I don't want to go and defend the World Cup at 31. So there's enough signs that the one day game is really struggling. तो उस लिहाज से this might just be the, I don't know, for lack of a better word, the most relevant one day or the last relevant one day World Cup.
One day World Cup. Yeah. So, Tanya, do you think so that this is going to be the last most relevant one day World Cup? Because everybody is, putting questions in the relevance of ODIs from here on, especially as Jamie also mentioned, the booming of the T20 cricket and especially the franchisee cricket or all of that. So, do you think it's going to be the last most relevant one?
I think, as Jimmy said, that's gonna be. I think that could be a future because this could be the last World Cup which will play it with these rules. There might be something new come up with in this one day. You have two innings of 25 overs, might be to make it more interesting for the people. Suppose you lose your first inning and then in the second inning you can come back, so people might go and see that match. So it will be a more interesting. So they get a bigger picture where they can see their icon players or their legend players batting twice in a game, so they're gonna be kuch na kuch jarur twist honge. There might be a few changes because right now the way one day cricket is going, I think leaving one or two countries, it's gonna get dropped very soon because in India you play cricket wherever, whatever, in whatever overs, whatever you do, it will be sold out. But when you talk about other parts of the country, world, then it has to take another shape or something interesting into it to get the people to the ground and keep the players also want to play this game of a cricket, this format, because as he said, a lot of players are not willing to play. They want to play test cricket, which is the best cricket for the skill judgment, and then the T20 cricket, which is the entertainment cricket and one of the best cricket right now.
True,
Or rather, it
absolutely.
should be played only in India, as Chetan said that only Indians watch fill up the stadiums when it's played in India. But I think it's an interesting question, Jimmy Bhai, ki whether it's relevant. Of course, in India, this World Cup is definitely relevant. But I'm sure, I mean, there will be discussions about this format in the future because it's really it becomes really boring to sit down and watch. I mean, Test cricket is exciting because you have different days, 5 days of cricket, roller coaster ride. But here, like the middle overs, take your time, and then I mean, yeah, we have the population to sit down and watch matches in India and fill up the stadiums. But yeah, there will be question marks in other countries as well. Like I don't know how many countries would want to continue playing this format because I mean, so many leagues coming up, as Jamie said. So T20 is the way forward, and this talk has been there for quite a long time. And people, I mean, there has been no debate at all. Quite really, that should have been only in the newspapers. I've seen them.
Yeah, because obviously, a lot many times the former cricketers and even the cricketers who are playing the format, they have termed ODI cricket as one of the most boring ones. And also, you need to sit throughout the day from morning till the evening, and then you have to wait for the result. And people come up with such kind of comments that we don't want to watch ODI cricket. We just want to invest our time watching the T20 cricket. And obviously, Test cricket is one of the best formats to test your skills. But out here, when we're talking about this ODI World Cup, and especially when it's in India, there's a very different level of fandom for cricket here in India. They treat it like one religion, and they watch it very religiously here in India. So obviously, it's going to be a big tournament. But Jamie, we have this World Cup as a very big tournament. Then why we are still waiting for the final schedule? And I know that you reiterated this point again and again in this conversation. So I want to ask you. I remember 2015 and 2019. I think the schedule came a year before only, and the fans had booked their tickets. Now it's so difficult for the fans from the different countries to book the tickets to travel here in India and then come up. It's going to be so costly for them. It's going to be so expensive. So if we think about all these things, why we are still waiting? I understood that a lot many things were going on, but you need to have some sort of plan, isn't it?
Yes, you do. But again, we can understand the delays, right? I know I've questioned this decision, but we can understand, right? The BCCI is not. It is at its strongest in many ways, but from a leadership role, perhaps it's not as strong as it used to be or it should be. And then we've had the Asia Cup issue, ACC. Look, I mean, getting Pakistan here is not an easy challenge. I don't need to underline that fact, so we can understand. I just think if there were more stronger former cricketers in the BCI, perhaps we would have seen this. I'm not saying 12 months ago, but maybe 3 4 months ago. But I totally understand this delay. Now, to answer it, to look at your question, not to give an answer, who am I to give an answer, but to look at it, there's two ways to see it. Yes, it's become extremely difficult for NRIs to, because look, we saw it in the Oval, right? I mean, we had people, ANI was showing us visuals, ke koi USA aaya, koi yahan se aaya. It's very tough for the overseas Indian fans because they have to apply for leave. Some have to get visas. Not everyone has relatives here. There'll be some who have to, book hotels. And I'm only talking about the Indian fans. For the overseas fans, like, good luck right now. But coming back to what Chaitanya was mentioning here, you will still get a sold out crowd just because of the population and the love, right? So, yes, it's rather unfortunate that people living outside of India, especially foreigners, non Indians, now have to scramble to see where's England playing, where's New Zealand playing, chalo, I don't think people will come from the West Indies and Sri Lanka, but England, South Africa, New Zealand, inke fans ke paas, it's going to be very tough. But that said, BCI is probably like, yeah, it's okay. We're still going to get sold out crowds just from the people staying in India. So it's a bit of a tricky situation. Will you get houseful? I assume so. Are you going to get as many people now coming in from overseas as you would have had you released the schedule like in the past 7 World Cups? No.
Yeah, and that's a big question, and everyone's very desperately waiting for the schedule, when this schedule gonna come. But Chaitanya, one very important question here is of the selection committee as well. Who's gonna select the team now? From quite a lot many previous live sessions, we've been talking about this. I've had this word with Jamie and Taos, and we had our own share of conversation around it. Where is the chief selector? Where is the selection committee? Now, Chaitanya, we're going forward to ODI World Cup 2023, and Team India does not have a selection committee and the chief selector. What do you think? I mean, what's going on right now?
See, Indian cricket is a different game altogether. Here there are many things happening behind the scenes. So I think, but if you see as a cricketer, when we play IPL and when we are doing this, we are making bigger bench strength from last one year. We have this bigger bench strength. We have tested players. When we talk about Test cricket, then it's a different skill set where we don't have a big bench strength. But when we talk about T20 and one day format, we have a good bench strength. I think we just need to combine and fit the right place, right player at the right places. It will be easy for India to do that, and especially when you're playing in your own country, you are not going somewhere else. We are brought up here. We know each and every ground where we play, what gonna happen, where the spins will take place, where the dew will come, where the fast bowling will work, where the placid wickets will be there. So we can plan accordingly. And being as I was a selector for daily cricket for 3 4 years, when you make
Yeah,
a side, so you think about all these factors and then you choose your team, because when you
yeah,
go and play in different venues, so you keep that in mind. And as you were saying, we have a contract of the players, we have
yeah,
players on contract, so we already have a mindset that which players are gonna be there who gonna play the World Cup. But right now, the man who's gonna choose it, he's not there. So somebody will come and see it. But
yeah.
as India has a lot of legends which are talking, and especially right now, the cricket is run by a guy who has won the World Cup for India. So is the president, so he also have that knowledge, so we doesn't need to go here and there. So, but the main thing is how many fit players we can have in our squad. That is the main question. And secondly,
Yeah.
how many good all-rounders we can have. So if you see in this world test championship, there was a bigger difference. A lot of people were talking about not playing Ashwin, but I think we were missing a all-rounder, all fast bowling all-rounder like Cameron Green and RT, which was very important. Who can change the game in one session, or with the ball or with the bat. We were relying a lot on Shardul Thakur, but I don't think he's there right now. He needs
Huh.
more time to be there, but right now he's not there. So when you choose a team for the World Cup, which is gonna be the one of the biggest events, so you have to think as a selector that you need to put fit players. First important thing, the players should be fit who can play the complete tournament, not come in between few matches and can rest, play the few matches and then can go out. So you need a players those who can play the complete tournament with full fitness. That is most important, and we have the bench strength which can come and compete to any team in these formats easily when we are playing in India.
Well,
One question that I want to, Shlomo, one question that I want to ask, as
Yeah.
Chaitanya has been the selector of Delhi state team.
uh,
Chaitanya, bhai, just one question.
Yeah.
What is the role of a chief selector? I mean, we have a selection committee where 5 selectors come and sit down, they discuss the team. But is it the chief selector who has the final say on the team, the final stamp, or is it they come in a consensus and they come out with a decision? I mean, what's the role
See,
of a chief selector
see what
exactly?
happens.
Are we missing a chief selector that desperately?
Yeah. What happens when you're selecting a team? When you're selecting a Ranji Trophy team, a first class team, or an Indian team, the team is already set. There will be one or two changes in the in coming tournaments because most of the players have already have their place settled in the team. They are the legends. So you have to just there are two or three places where you are thinking about I can have him or I can have him. So when they are select other selectors are there, so somebody has some liking for some other player, or somebody has a liking for some other player. So there, the chief selector comes in and says, "No, I think I agree with the XYZ that this player is doing well." And there, that vote comes in, and that's the role. That's the chief selector. The role plays. That's the main important role of a chief selector. Otherwise, all the selectors are on same level. Chief selectors just have an extra vote where two selectors are not coming to the point. So he's there to put
so
the
Chit-
stamp.
this means that currently we are missing the chief selector, and before ODI World Cup, we really need one. It doesn't mean.
Yes, obviously we need it because to make a good team, you need a strong people to back them up. So when you
Hmm.
have somebody who's backing you up as a player, you can go out and express yourself completely. Because if you see from last 7, 8 years or 10 years, Indian players are expressing themselves very, they are expressing themselves completely. They are not scared about anything. They are not keeping themselves on anything on backside. So they come
Uh,
out and they try to perform. If they don't perform, they don't perform, but they express what their talent is. That what the mindset has been set to the players, or that things has been put into the players, that you go out, express your skill, you perform, it's okay, but if you don't perform, we are backing you up. You are here because you are a match winner. That what
huh.
you need as a selectors. When you have a strong selectors, then you have a good team always.
True, and that's what we need before ODI World Cup. Now, that was the big question. If you, okay, Vineet is asking, what about the rain? Oh, Taos, you would like to answer, Vineet. What about the rain? What's going to happen if it rains in ODI
I mean,
World Cup?
without planning. I mean, rain is something which is not in the hands of the ICC, but then it comes anytime. But the World Cups are played with plannings. I mean, it's not it's a mega event, and obviously ICC won't schedule a tournament when it's raining in August, July, September, or whenever there is where the matches are going to be held. I
Taos,
mean,
I
there is
remember
proper schedule.
2019. I remember 2019, most of the matches that they were played there in England, most of the matches, it was just raining, raining. They were
That's
abundant by
England. That's
rain.
England. I mean, it's unpredictable. India is not England, so we have quite a structured weather structure by the nature which has given it to us. I mean, from October to December to February, it's cricketing season. October almost it starts from October, so there you will hardly find any rain apart from the fog in Delhi, which disturbs the cricket. Otherwise, it's normal weather, and ICC is. I mean, obviously they come out with proper plans. They look at the weather system, weather, and which is the proper month to host the World Cup or any big tournament. So rain chances. I mean, it's not. It's out of question right now. I mean, if weather gods have different plans, it's a different say altogether.
JV, you are saying something. I remember
No, no,
2019 he was waiting for rain to stop in all the matches. Yeah.
don't remind me. I sat in this godforsaken city of England called Bristol. It rained for 4 days. Both matches were washed out. I was reduced to giving rain updates on Twitter. Only good thing is the Twitter following went through the roof. Otherwise, look again. But that's what you get in England whenever you host a global tournament. Barring this match here, not a single drop of rain. England. It's bound to happen. Sri Lanka, it's bound to happen. But I think barring, I think a couple matches in the month of October in places like Tamil Nadu and also in Vizag have been, influenced by rain or interrupted. But like Toss said, the chances are very, very few. Beyond that, if it does rain, ICC cannot be waiting to do it 2 months before. They have to plan something out a year before. We saw this last year in Australia, right? Everyone is saying, oh, certain teams struggle because of rain. That was an unseasonal November in Australia. October, November is their driest time. It had never rained so much. If that happens, then you get into DLS and all. Then it's just bad luck. I think October, November, from an Indian perspective, is a fantastic time to host the World Cup. Rain, Vineet Kulkarni, don't worry about rain. It's not going to be a problem.
Not even in the southern part of India, because in northern part of
Maybe,
India,
maybe. No, so in fact, on this, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm saying, Swaramya, if you see Indian domestic calendar also, it happens at the same time. So this is the
Yeah.
best time to play cricket in India. The most and biggest important question here is not rain. It's the fog. It's the dew, which gonna
Correct.
uh, change the results of the matches. So how we gonna tackle that? That is the most important question. And I think Ashwin has given this answer. If we play 1 hour earlier, then there are more chances
Yes.
to have less dew with the second team bowling. But we have
yeah.
to see, can we do that? There are a lot of questions comes after with it. So we cannot decide right now. But the big question is how to manage the dew.
Yep.
Well, yes, that's a very big point. That's a big point. Okay, quick take. The last question out here. Now there are a lot many questions out there on social media about Rohit Sharma's captaincy and what Rohit mentioned after the match. Now Rohit said कि हमें World Cup में कुछ अलग करके दिखाना होगा. आई वांट टू नो वो अलग क्या है अकॉर्डिंग टू यू थ्री गाइस, क्योंकि उसके अलग अलग इंटरप्रिटेशंस मैंने सोशल मीडिया पे जो देख लिए है क्या अलग होना चाहिए. स्टार्टिंग विद यू चैतन्य, क्या लगता है रोहित शर्मा क्या अलग करने की बात कर रहे हैं वहां पे, क्योंकि WTC में तो लोगों को नहीं नजर आया अलग. तो
Actually,
गोपाल stage exit and humiliation. See, I was talking about this interpretation only. People are interpreting this. What do you think?
आई थिंक जैसे आपने बोला अभी हमने जिससे पहले जो बायलैटरल सीरीज खेली हमने देखा इंडिया ने माइंडसेट अपना चेंज किया कि दे आर गोइंग फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट बॉल दे वांट टू हिट फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट बॉल दे वांट टू प्ले अ वेरी अटैकिंग क्रिकेट बट आई थिंक as a player or as a if I will be there as in administration of Indian cricket or sitting as a support staff, I will say you don't need to do that because we have all players are stroke players. If they are staying at the crease, they're gonna score runs. They're not gonna tie down. They're just gonna go and score runs. They are naturally stroke players, so they don't need to change a mindset. Because when you go and you say I'm just gonna hit every ball, then you start losing your shape. Then you start choosing a wrong ball to hit, and then you see the players are getting failed. They are getting out to a very simple ball, and then the criticize comes in. So I think we don't need to change anything. We have to play the cricket the way we are playing from last 4 5 years, and we will be able because we are playing in India. We don't need to do anything. Let other teams think how they're gonna stop India in India with the
Well,
backing of their fans.
well, yes, absolutely. Taus,
Yeah,
if
two
you can
things.
see
Two
this
things I
phrase,
have.
things अलग का मतलब आप देखिए क्या लिख रहे हैं वो अलग का मतलब क्या है? Do you think the
नहीं,
same?
which is see this is I think two things I have to say over here. यहाँ पर सबसे बेस्ट पार्ट है कि people won't have any expectations right now कि WTC फाइनल हार गए हम यहाँ पर और ICC टूर्नामेंट्स में हम परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाए. So here there won't be much burden on Team India captain Rohit Sharma. Obviously they are playing at home, तो थोड़ा रहेगा, मगर वो एक बर्डन से रिलीफ थोड़ा मिलना चाहिए क्योंकि अब यहाँ पर अगर हम अंडरडॉग्स बन के गए कि भाई एक्सपेक्टेशन कोई रख रहा नहीं है और सडनली एक रिजल्ट हमने थ्रो किया तो पूरा चेंज हो जाएगा डायनामिक्स एंड देन you don't have IPL in the run up. I mean like how WTC had IPL before the year, so the players were in the T20 mold. They were in that mindset ki matlab 10 दिन 10 days gap is not enough for to get ready for a test match, and a test match, a big test match like WTC. So you need time, you need preparation, you need good games to play, at least couple of county cricket 3-day matches. तो यहाँ पर हमारा वो बैठा नहीं, मगर when it comes to World Cup, we have Asia Cup, which is going to happen. Then we might be having bilateral series. Then we are playing West Indies after in West Indies a couple of more than a couple of matches in ODI cricket. तो ये मुझे लगता है कि as going as underdogs, I think which is a better sign. A lot of people are not hoping Rohit Sharma to win the ODI World Cup. This is what, which is good, which is a good sign that not many people are hoping. तो रोहित का burden उतना नहीं रहेगा, तो वो जाके enjoy करेगा और सबके सब. And I believe Rohit, this is the format which Rohit Sharma loves, I guess, because 3 डबल 100 है यहाँ पर. आपका टाइम है बैटिंग करने का. आपका T20 क्रिकेट में टाइम नहीं रहता, आपको पहले बॉल से जाना पड़ता है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली दैट इज द फॉर्मेट, हाउ रूथलेस दैट फॉर्मेट इज. टेस्ट क्रिकेट में थोड़ा बहुत कंडीशंस के ऊपर वेरी करता है. आप इंडिया में इतना टर्निंग ट्रैक बनाए तो विराट कोहली भी नहीं कर पाए, इतना ग्रेट बैट्समैन, तो उनके बाद आते रोहित शर्मा. इंग्लैंड में अलग ही माहौल था, स्विंग हो रही थी, और ऑस्ट्रेलिया आगे, फिर आईपीएल से. तो दिस इज द फॉर्मेट फॉर रोहित शर्मा एंड आई थिंक ही विल डू. और पूरा आईसीसी में आप देखेंगे जितना भी होता है, बैटिंग विकेट होती है, फ्लैट ट्रैक्स होता है, घास नहीं छोड़ते आपको वहां पर, अनप्रिपेयर्ड विकेट्स नहीं छोड़ते, तो उससे टेंशन मत लीजिए. अब हाँ, किसी को होप नहीं करना, नहीं करे, अच्छा है, ज्यादा बर्डन नहीं रहेगा, मगर अच्छा वर्ल्ड कप होने वाला है इंडिया के लिए.
hope नहीं रखनी है, Jamie. That's the last remark.
I mean, look, you can say that. I still think of the three formats, India have the least things to worry about in the one-day format, right? To my mind, I don't know. This is just my view. There's not enough quality teams going around in one-day cricket, and definitely not to come and challenge. Which is why so many teams have come here and struggled, right? Don't look at that very brief three-match series where Australia, where Stark was harassing certain players, and Sky got 3 ducks. That was a blip. Overall, you just look at between the last World Cups, teams have not won bilateral series in India. It's October. The tracks are going to be pretty good for batting. India has Shubman Gill. India have Virat Kohli. These two players, again, and understand, Surame, that I'm separating three formats. I think right now India's test system is almost broken. I think the T20 team in regards to winning trophies is in terrible shape, but like Chaitanya said, there's damn good bench strength for the T20 team. वो अलग बात है कि the right players are not playing right now. But in the one-day team, yes, it might be a dying format, but Virat Kohli is still, I think, he's got the most to do in one days. Yes, Rohit Sharma, like Tosbai said, he's struggling in T20s. I think Rohit Sharma has played his last T20I for India. But in one days, and keep in mind, Tosh knows it more than anyone else. Rohit Sharma has that inside him. कि 2011 World Cup के कुछ महीने पहले, I was dropped. From that 10, like 11, 12 years ago, he would have said, I'm going to become captain. I'm going to show them. Let's hope that fire inside translates into a World Cup trophy. Now, that said, yes, Tosbai mentioned fans are probably really low on hopes, but it's going to take a disaster for India to not walk into the semifinals. Once they get there, then it depends who they're playing, and then it comes down to the right call, wrong call, because India do walk into semifinals of World Cups. Where they lose the knockout matches is either one brilliant spell like Mohammad Amir in the 2017 Champions Trophy, 2014 T20 World Cup final in Dhaka, because Yuvraj Singh somehow had an extremely rare brain fade. He could not find a way to cope with Kula Sekara and Malinga. You can pinpoint, if you want, that phase. 2019 Rohit Sharma 500s, India walk into the finals. It was that same old left arm problem. Trent Bolt got Virat Kohli. In the knockouts, if you can just avoid these small, very obvious things, it's your World Cup to lose, yeah. So I'm not too worried about India in a one-day World Cup, especially at home. So keep some hope, guys. Come on.
No, we are going to win this World Cup. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
We just have to get the wickets in between the overs. We need to use, what the combination we had of Chahal and Kuldeep a few years back, where we're getting wickets in between. If we can do that, match that by any bowlers who can take wickets in between the overs, the power play and the last log overs, if you can take wickets as a spinner, I know a lot of teams go very silent on these overs. They don't want to attack the good bowlers. But if you have a skill to take wickets in those overs, then obviously you're going to win the game. That's the main overs where you have to take wickets. If you're not able to take wickets there, then there's a problem comes after.
Yeah,
When the balls get wet and the slog overs comes in and people start going for run in last 10 overs. So if you can keep taking the wickets in the middle overs, then it's gonna take you easy into the slog overs, and it will be easy for the fast bowlers or other bowlers to come in and bowl at that point of a time.
Absolutely, yes, yes. This which means that Team India needs to take all those baby steps to reach to the ODI World Cup trophy this time, and let's keep our hopes high that this team India lifts that trophy here in India once again. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It was fun chatting with you all. See you back again.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।